Shh, be quiet.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Powertrip Podcast Live. You're now tuned in our Thursday evening chat with your hosts,
Charmaine,
and Saquon.
welcome back, everyone.
Hola, people.
And hello to all our new people who are tuning in.
What's up?
So, for all of you who don't know, every Thursday evening we get together and we have controversial topics that discuss relationship, community, and family. We have three main goals. Our first is to strengthen communication within our communities. Our second goal is to expand our perspective so that we can all gain a greater understanding. And our third and possibly most important goal is to continue to uplift, is to continue to build exceptional families so that we can continue to uplift the world around us.
Yes. What's happening, people?
Yes. How's everyone's evening going? Oh, we're a little blurry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Hi,
Hey,
Aunt
Chi.
Chi. All right. So, as you guys have seen, for those of you who got the text, and I guess for those of you who saw the
Title?
Yeah, the title. Tonight we are going to be talking about leaving the nest.
Yes.
Hey, doll. Hey, boobies.
What's up, my G? What's up, booby?
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I was just going to see how everybody was doing first.
Okay. How's everybody's evening going? That's fine.
Yes.
Check in on the good people. Oh, goodness. But yeah, so I found please like the video and subscribe. Thank you, doll.
Yes.
So I found this post that was really interesting to me. So I wanted to read it. It's another advice type of post. And that's what made me think about, leaving the nest.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an appropriate time that someone should move out of the home with their parents? Is there, someone be too young, someone be too old? But I'm going to read this and then we will
discuss.
Yes. All right. So it says, my parents are kicking me, 18-year-old male, out by month's end. My stepdad is claiming I have done nothing with my life and have no direction. Parents divorced at an early age. My stepdad was strict, but he was a good father. I'm the oldest child. Due to COVID, I didn't go to college this year. Excuse me. I skipped it, and rightfully so, as I have health issues. I'm taking classes online. I don't work and haven't for at least 2 weeks. I left my job at GameStop after they stopped giving me hours and weren't promoting me. My stepdad came in while I was finishing up coursework. He told me I had 2 weeks to get out, or he was forcing me out. I asked him why, and he says I have no direction, no goal. I'm doing nothing with my life. I'm 18. You can't seriously expect me to figure out my life. But he disagrees and claims, yes, I should have a good idea of what I want. He says that a parent's job is done after I turn 18. All I do is play video games. I don't have girls over, no friends. We're in a pandemic. I only go out to work. F off. I'm wasting away inside when I should be doing more. I told him I was looking for a better full-time job that had a good career path, and I was taking online classes. I even offered to pay rent. He said no. From his point of view, I'm wasting away, and he won't allow me to become a loser. Adversity brings innovation and strength, and life will be hard, but he knows I will look back and thank him. I don't know what else to do. I feel like he thinks I'm worthless. I spent a lot of time inside last year for good reasons. We are in a pandemic. I don't want to die. Am I being unreasonable? My dad says yes. Yes, I am. I don't know what to do. This isn't really just. My mom mostly goes along with what he says, but I don't know how I can convince her to convince him to let me stay. Or is my dad justified? I am a loser for not having any plans. Am I a loser for not having any plans past 18? So I thought this was a really interesting post. At 18, I'm just going to start by saying I definitely didn't have it all figured out. So okay, let's just talk. What do you guys think? Write in the comment. What are your thoughts? Do you think the dad is being unreasonable? Do you think this 18-year-old young man should have it all figured out and be able to leave his house?
Yes.
And just survive on his own? Do you think 2 weeks is a good notice? I mean, you get 30 days at least when you live in an apartment. And then also, yeah, just let me know what you think, and then I want to hear what you have to say too, honey.
Okay, so I think the way the dad's going about it is wrong. I think the way he's going about it is wrong, but I understand
what the dad is saying.
I understand what he's saying.
Interesting.
But I think he's going about it the wrong way.
Okay, can you explain further?
Because so this is my thing. I look at it like this. If someone's sitting there playing video games all day, like they don't have any type of desire in the world, right? Like to do anything, you kind of enabling them to kind of just sail through life,
Okay.
And if they don't decide to switch things and get themselves together, somebody has to tell them. You understand what I'm
saying? Okay, that's what you got from the situation. I feel like you took what the dad said, and I feel like you're missing a few key points.
About what?
So one, he is taking online classes. Okay. So he's not only just playing video games. And two, he stopped working 2 weeks ago because GameStop stopped giving him hours and he wasn't getting a promotion. So he said he's looking for a full-time job that would help him with getting promoted up and not just staying stagnant.
Okay, right. I understand.
So
I understand and I don't.
What don't you understand?
How you quit a job that's not giving you hours and you're not going to get no more money? You just quit the little bit of hours.
He wasn't getting any hours, according to
Well, you should have just stayed on their books then. Why'd you just you get what I'm saying?
So you think the dad is justified? Okay, so let's just get your point of view. You think the dad is justified in giving him 2 weeks to move out, and that
no. Like I said, I think he's going about it the wrong way.
The dad is going about it the wrong way.
Yes.
But you do think he should kick him out?
He should start talking to him, about getting himself together and
right. With his plan and things like that.
Yeah.
But do you think he should kick him out?
To me, it depends on how long you're gonna be sitting in this house.
You ain't kicking my baby out.
Nah, it depends on how long you're sitting in this house.
Okay.
It depends on how much of these bills that you taking up. You get what I'm saying?
But he also offered to pay rent.
I don't want you to pay my rent. I want you to pay your own rent.
Why at 18 does he need to just rush and pay his own rent while he's still in school?
Because that brings ownership. Once you start paying for something, it brings ownership. I'm not giving you a piece of mine.
Okay, first of all,
because not like that. It's not like not like that.
Just graduated.
Listen.
Go ahead.
But it's all about what you're doing.
Okay.
If every time I come home and I see you not doing anything, playing video games all day long and stuff, if that's what I'm seeing, I'm going to say something. And you can't just pay me rent to sit here and play video games. You could go do that somewhere else. Because I don't even think that you should be sitting here playing video games all day. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I get your point of view. I don't agree. But I agree with some of what you're saying. I don't agree with everything you're saying. Mm-hmm. I do think that, like you said, the dad is going about it the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And I get wanting more out of your child and wanting them to fulfill what you see the potential in them as. So if he is sitting playing video games all day, I do understand having that conversation to say, okay, no, look, we need to have a game plan. Not saying you can't play video games at all, but I want you to be able to get to a point where you can be self-sufficient,
Right,
pay
right.
your own bills and all that. At 18 though, I just
At 18, I
I'm a
wouldn't
little
have
bit
given you
more
2 weeks.
I wouldn't give them 30 days. I at 18, if there's
You
certain
got 6
things.
months.
No, I wouldn't even say that. Because for one, we are in a pandemic.
Well, okay, right,
And
yeah, right now,
that's why things have changed with him. Two, I would sit down and figure out what's the plan first, and then go from there, because he could possibly, like, at 18, he could, let's say he took last year off because of the pandemic. He didn't want to be on campus because of health issues. So possibly, instead of just getting his own place, he could be going to the dorms. Like when I graduated high school, I lived in the dorms. I still came back home, and I didn't have my own place, when it was holidays and summer breaks and stuff. But my mom wasn't just throwing me out there and saying, okay, well, you're in college now, you got a dorm, now you got to figure out how to get an apartment. It was steps to help me get self-sufficient. And eventually I did, get there.
No, I mean, okay, so.
Okay, go ahead. But I want to read comments.
All right, but I would say that you had help along the way as you were taking the steps to elevate in life.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You weren't just sitting there.
But he's not just sitting there if he's taking online classes.
Okay. I mean,
in my opinion.
Right. I mean,
okay, hold on, Chatterbox. No, it's good. It's a good topic, right? All right. So, hey, Aunt Marie.
Hola.
Zuri says, wow, that is super messed up. They're not being reasonable at all. I concur. Mommy says, I would think that I would support him and help him find jobs and get himself together. I agree. I would support him. I don't know about helping him all the way find jobs, because I want to, if he had difficulty finding jobs, then I would help him.
It depends.
But I want him to be able to look and try to do that for himself.
I think it depends on what that help is.
True. That's
because
true. That's very true.
So my first job, for instance, my mom literally told me, hey, all these people hiring, and she took me there. And so that's
like a job fair, or just
they was literally no, it was just this one place, and they would it was a new restaurant they were opening up, so they had lines of people.
So it was like, those are the good jobs, because everybody gets hired,
right?
Chichi says, I don't expect that he should have it all figured out, but he should be working towards some goal, even a short-term one.
Right.
I'd be super annoyed if my 18-year-old sat around all day playing video games.
Thank you.
I couldn't kick my child out of my house, though. Are you quiet on that? Thank you. Hey, Anna-Ree. She says, facts. Hey, Mama J. And then Anna-Ree also says, you can't leave something that pays a little to something that pays nothing. Okay, so she agrees with your statement that he should have just stayed on the books with no hours until he got some hours or a new job. Mommy says,
my G says, the son has no hours. It's not the kid's fault. We're in a pandemic, people.
As you guys can see, my mom, she's very supportive.
yeah, she is.
Aunt
Marie says, you got to crawl before you walk. Help your son to be a man. And Marie, she said hi, guys, and hello, because I didn't say hello. My G says, right on, Marie. Anna Marie says, working papers at 14, teach them responsibilities.
True. I was looking at my application. My friends bought me like, what's this? Oh, you want me to work? But when I got the job, I outlasted everyone.
Zuri says, it's also really hard to find a one-bedroom on your own. You almost need to get a roommate and make it work.
Yep. And hey, Zuri.
What's up, Zuri? And Marie says, we're living in hard times. What?
Keep reading.
We're living in hard times. Talk to him. Help. My nephew is tough.
And Mommy said, who said he quit the job? He did.
Yeah.
So in the post, he said he quit the job because he wasn't getting any hours, and he also wasn't being promoted. So he quit. So I guess I can agree that he at least should have held on to the job, because that's one thing I tell anybody is you never quit a job until you have secured something else. Right. So I agree with that. Let's see.
Aunt Chichi says, also, these classes he taking, what are they for? What's the point of these classes? If you taking online pottery classes or what, that makes it different. It does. And it's
That
like,
is
you got to
true.
think about it. Why doesn't your dad know?
The dad does know, but
he just not taking it serious, I guess.
Or he feels like, okay, well, you're taking these online classes. It maybe only takes like this amount of time out of your day. And like you said, the rest of the day, he's playing video games.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not really working towards anything. He doesn't see any type of ambition and, action of him moving forward.
Yeah. And I guess, go ahead. What were you about to say?
No, I was just going to say, so it's like, I understand, but I definitely think a conversation, like you said, that's why I say I agree with you partially, because he handled it wrong.
Right.
Like, have the conversation. Let's figure out what are your goals? What is the plan?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be back, go to campus next year if things open back up or whatever?
Right.
Or like, I think that conversation and communication should happen before it's just like, well, this is just a hard lesson and you're going to thank me one day.
Right. And Marie says, talk to your son. He needs help. I mean, so, all right. So sometimes the help could just be just sparking the match. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's what it is that he needs to do. It should have been a conversation, like you're saying. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the basis of it. I think it just should have been the whole conversation. And like Aunt Chi-Chi says, I believe that there should be short-term goals. That's why I said 6 months.
Short-term goals.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm not going to give you 2. I can't do that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think also right now in a pandemic, I agree with my mom on this.
Yeah.
That like things are difficult. They're just difficult right now. For one, he doesn't even have a job. So you're giving him 2 weeks to get out. He doesn't have any type of foundation on how he can secure an apartment.
Go ahead.
2, wait on prices looking nowadays. I mean, this market is out of control, and what they're charging is just should be illegal. It's criminal. So I just feel like, okay, this is where you give deadlines. Like you said, if you want to do 6 months, okay. Or, at least I like what Cousin Let says. Create timelines for expectations and be fluid about it. I agree. So I guess you don't want to be too fluid to the point where like they keep missing the timeline, the deadlines.
Right.
But you have to be flexible, especially in this time. Like if we weren't in a pandemic, it would be a little bit different.
True.
And honestly, actually, as far as the job is concerned,
go ahead.
There's 10 million job openings.
So
he should be able to find employment.
Yeah. So this is what I was almost going to get at. So yes, we are in a pandemic, right?
Right.
But I guess when we're looking at the landscape of things, like actually looking at the landscape of things, it's one thing for things to be difficult, but there's another thing for you not even trying.
Right, because I was driving the other day. Remember I told you, and I seen Del Taco had a job fair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you just want to make sure you have an income coming in, you can achieve that.
Right.
So I agree. Mommy says, I know that the parents need to band together to emotionally support him and encourage him to greatness. It's rough out there for a professional like me, but set goals and he will succeed. Cousin Let says, there are so many jobs, so many. I've been struggling to hire. Well, listen, kiddo, if you're listening to this, Cousin Let. But seriously, there are so many jobs. Mommy says, even senior citizens are taking jobs that kids would normally work. Yeah, so I guess we can all agree as far as the job aspect is concerned, he quit before he secured something, which is a huge no-no. And then also, right now is the perfect time to find a job because there's so many people hiring left and right. So there should be no excuse for that. There's work from home jobs. There's tons of jobs that are hiring. So I think the best thing I would do for him, I think his stepfather is being a little bit unreasonable in time frame an expectation of him moving out.
Mhm.
And I understand that, some parents parent from that mindset of tough love and
Yeah.
this is going to make you stronger. But the homelessness situation going on in America right now is really sad. And like, just imagine you drive by and see your child on the side of the road asking somebody for money for a place to stay at night.
But it's not to say that if he if that happened, he's not gonna give him a home. Like
If what happens?
If he end up homeless.
What does he think he about to do? Oh, maybe sleep at stay at a friend's house or something?
No, if I would think that when I decided to jump out on my own, that if things fell flat for me, I could go home.
That's what you think. This dad doesn't sound like that's what he wants. If he's giving you 2 weeks and you're jobless to leave his home, or he's going to force you out, you think that sometimes he assumes you have money to get an apartment or have a roof over your head?
No, I'm saying if he went and now if he just left and he didn't know he had anything, that's one thing. But if he did get himself together, he secured him a place to stay. You get what I'm saying?
2 weeks.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, maybe if he stays with a friend, or hopefully he stays with a family member.
Anything is possible. I've seen people do some stuff.
Okay. Now you're being the optimistic one. I don't know.
Like I said, 2 weeks for me is
if he stays with a friend or something. And then what's his credit looking like? Are they gonna co-sign?
So this is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying. You gotta. So all right, I think about my family, right? Mm-hmm. I was working a lot and busy. Mm-hmm. Literally only home in the morning, and they told me I needed to get my stuff together. Mm-hmm. There wasn't nobody gonna accept any rent from me to just be like, oh, this is okay. Wait, why am I even saying this?
I don't know.
What were you saying?
Just like talking about yourself.
No, what were you saying?
No, I was saying because you said anything is possible, and I was saying how can you
okay. So even when I did leave, right? Mm-hmm. If they said, oh, it's time for you to go, I feel like if I eventually figured it out, got out, I could always come home if something didn't, work out.
Said no.
Then then at that point, then they messed up. But they got me out. I went and I secured me a place. I grew after that. You get what I'm saying? It didn't go negative. I mean, I had some tough times
for you, but you can't think that everybody's gonna have your experience.
On top of that, it's like reading through the lines, right? I had some tough times, but my family helped me out a lot.
That is for you. Again, you cannot think that everybody.
But we're assuming because he said you got 2 weeks to get out that he's not ever going to help him. That's what you're assuming.
He told him this is a hard lesson that you need to learn, and you'll look back and thank me one day.
He's not saying he would never help him.
All right. Anyway, you're trying to be too much Mr. Hypothetical. He didn't say he was going to help him. So all I'm saying is. All I'm saying is, I think 2 weeks is
2 weeks is unreasonable. That is ridiculous.
Oh, please.
To come out of nowhere.
You can't say that now.
I already said the 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you try to just say anything is possible.
I do think it's possible, but 2 weeks is kind of pushing it.
Yeah. Mommy says he may wind up getting in trouble and possibly ruin his life. The dad is being unrealistic. I concur. Cousin Let says this is why you don't quit without a plan. I concur. Aunt Marie says you had an old school family. Look at the man you are today. Thank God.
That's what I'm saying.
But not every. See, this is Saquon's issue. He looks at the world through his perspective of what he experienced.
But that's what I'm saying. How can we listen to this story, right, and automatically say that this father won't support his child once he leaves the house?
Why would he if he's kicking him out?
They told me to go to the military. They told me
to. You see how he's bringing it back to him?
But that's what I'm trying to say. It's the same thing. They telling me to get up and go. You understand what I'm saying? They're telling me to get up and go. Only because they told me to get up and go didn't mean that they were saying that they would never help me out.
Okay. I get that for your life.
No, I'm saying so we can't assume for.
I didn't assume anything. I'm just saying. You're assuming that he's gonna get help. I'm just saying.
You're being pessimistic about the situation.
I'm just saying, for one, I wouldn't want my dad's help. You gonna kick me out? I'd be a little salty. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, Dame.
What's up, Dame?
Let's see. Mommy says, support the youth and guide them. No man is an island, and turning him out of the house is not appropriate at a 2-week interval.
No, a 2-week interval is not good.
Oh, hush. Hey, Camille.
What's up, Camille?
Okay, so we can all agree 2 weeks is not enough time. He does need structure, a plan, and goals. He did quit the job wrong. Does anyone think that the mom should step in and intervene? Because the stepdad is the one who's making this decision and the mom's going along with it. But does anyone think that she should? Because that's what he asked too. He was like, how can I convince my mom to convince him to let me stay? So does anyone think that Cousin Les said goodbyes? Still left my pumpkin, even though he's just something else. But does anyone think the mom should say anything? And oh, hey, Vess.
What's up, Vess? Vess says, I have a family member who did that to his son, and he was living in his car. Now he has his own house, but he's still pretty salty about it.
I agree. I think even if, like you said, you can make it out of it and anything's possible, there would be resentment there for your parents.
Even what I'm sitting here saying about what happened with my family, I still today be like, what the heck was wrong with these people by saying, hey, I think you need to go to the services? Because it wasn't part of our plan at all, but then it came. So I understand. Like, it comes with a little bit of saltiness, but sometimes it take a little bit of, ruffling of the feathers or, to get you to go.
I think I get what you're saying. And like I said, I think like with that, some parents have that mentality where it's like, I'm going to give this tough love to you and it's going to make you better.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other ends, I think they don't realize how it's going to emotionally affect their child. Because it's like, you're leaving me high and dry. And yes, I may succeed from this lesson, but it's like the people who I depend on and who are my parents,
right.
It's like, you kind of left me out. Not saying your parents left you out, because like you said, they would have supported you regardless.
Right.
But
and I think that saltiness, that salty feeling will be less of a issue if the parents were a little bit more communicating, when leading up to that. You understand what I'm saying?
It wasn't so abrupt.
Right. Mm-hmm. It goes like, man, I'm living my life, right?
He's like, he was finishing coursework and dad.
Yeah. So I'm living my life, and then boom, like, it's like, what the heck? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's all a surprise.
Right, exactly. So there is no preparation.
Right.
Okay, you want to read Cousin Les?
Cousin Les says, I think the only thing that will convince the stepdad is, this is a stepdad too? Mm-hmm. The stepdad is, if he is making an effort and contributing to the house. I don't think he cares about the contribution to the house.
In other ways, if he has no funds. Because, I guess he doesn't care about the contribution to the house, because the son asks, can I pay rent? And the stepdad said no.
Right.
And then
my G says, yes, I already said she needs to weigh in and discuss with the husband his unrealistic expectations of bouncing 2 weeks unless she wants him going on the low. And that and that could be part of it too. And the thing is, we don't really know what type of kid he is.
Right. We don't know these people at all. So we don't know the situation, everything that's going on. But I do think that the mom should intervene just to say, okay, I agree that he needs to do more, and I do want to see him get his stuff together.
Right.
But I think 2 weeks is unrealistic.
Right, and that's especially if she believes that.
Exactly. Yeah. So right. All right. So now, question: at what age do you guys think a child, young person, young adult, should leave the house?
Should be out the house. What's the max age, you think?
No, well, both. So I was going to say, at what age, just in general, what age do you think is a good age for someone to move out?
Okay.
And then is there such thing as being too old to live at home?
Okay.
Or too young? Oh, no, not too young, or too old. But I said too young because I was thinking, I think a lot of it is based off of preparation and maturity, because I think about young people who are 15, 16, 17 who move out or who like get emancipated from their parents. Remember, we met a young lady who was emancipated at age 15 or 16?
16.
At age 16, and she was living on her own.
Like out there.
She had she had
I
her own
mean, yeah. I
apartment.
mean, no, like it was just like she was an adult. Like she was just.
But yeah, she was emancipated at age 16, and she had her own apartment. She was paying rent. She was in school, right?
I don't think she was in school.
Oh, she got her GED.
She had like two. I think so, but I think she had like 2 jobs or something like that too.
Okay, so she was working, but she was responsible, paying rent. So I definitely think a lot of it depends on maturity, on when someone is ready to leave the home and how prepared that they are mentally, financially, to do so. Let's see. Cousin Let says, think culturally. We are a multi-generational people. This leaving and living on our own is not what our ancestors did. That's true. And then Dame says, the older I'm becoming, I realize that each tribe is different. There's families that wouldn't care if you stayed forever. On the other hand, some are strict on the 18 and you're out. That's very true too. But what do you think is best for the actual child? Do you think, because I understand like there's some people who believe too, like a woman shouldn't even leave the house until she's married and she's in the home with, with her husband. Camille says, if it's a girl, she always has room in my home. If it's a boy, when they graduate from college. Ooh, can you explain why, Camille, sir, it's different for the opposite, for the sexes or to genders? But yeah, so go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. But yeah. So I get, because there are definitely different mindsets with this topic, and different families who display, who have their different rules. Like this young man here, 18, they want him gone.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, you can be any age, and they'll still have you home. A lot of it, I think, has to do with somewhat Cousin Let said, like multi-generational families where sometimes grandmother lives in the house, and then it's just that's just the culture. Or in New York, for example, it's more kind of common. It's more common where you stay with your parents even at an older age, and then a lot of people also, it depends on your goals. So sometimes if you're saving and you're building, I think it would be okay to stay at home because you have a goal and you have an understanding with your parents and you have your timeline. I think also with people who go to school. So if you're in college and let's say you do undergrad, your master's, PhD, or doctorate or whatever, and then you just didn't end up getting your own place at that time because you're just so focused on school. I think there can be certain exceptions on, what makes someone stay longer. Let's see. Cousin Let says, go ahead.
Oh, Cousin Let says, I keep the same rules for my kids. Sex don't matter. Doesn't matter. People have individual needs. So it depends child by child.
I agree. Right. I think it depends on the child.
Dame says, what's best for the actual child is for the parents to equip that child so that independence is the key goal. If going away to school is an option, let that child go. I believe as early as possible. I believe the same thing.
I agree. I think a lot of when a child is ready to leave the house is going to depend on how prepared their parents,
right.
Kind of set them up. So like we were saying, well, like I said, I was like, does he have good credit? Because that's something, like one thing I was like, I'm never getting a credit card. And my mom, anytime credit cards used to come in the mail, she would cut them up. So it was like, but it's that mindset, like, I don't want debt. I don't want to owe somebody something. I don't want to spend money that I don't have.
Right.
So because of that, when I initially went to undergrad, I didn't have any credit. So what I learned when I got my first apartment was I needed a cosigner because I didn't have the credit to show that I'm a trustworthy, payer.
Citizen.
Yes. But yeah, so then that helped build my credit. But as like Saquon and I, we've learned different things that you can do where you can put your child on your credit card as an authorized user. You don't even have to give them access, but that helps build their credit. So by the time that they're 18, they have a good solid credit score. Or you can do little things where you just get them prepared so that when they go out there, they do have these things.
Right.
For me, it worked out perfect because my mom had no problem co-signing. My credit was built, and then I think I had like a school loan at one point, but then I got a grant, so I just paid it right off, and that helped my credit too.
And that's one piece. That's just one piece of getting somebody ready to leave the home.
Right, is their credit.
Is credit. Another thing could just be responsibilities. I didn't like cleaning up the house. My one of my duties was cleaning the bathroom. Nobody else really cleaned the bathroom. I hated it. But when it comes to having my own place, when it comes down to getting things cleaned, I know how to
it
clean my home.
You for that when you live on your own.
Right.
That's true. Okay. So I agree. So it's more than just financial knowledge.
Yeah.
It's also how to operate and, have responsibility for your home and for your property and things of that nature.
Maintaining.
Yes.
Cousin Let says, my kids can stay as long as they are not freeloading and being disrespectful. I want my kids to be independent, but I don't want them in a miserable 9-to-5 just to pay a bill.
Very true. Okay.
Dame says, I was handicapped, and when I tell you, it was hard finding my independence.
Are you saying like you were handicapped because they did so much for you? So you were kind of like very dependent on them, Dame? Okay.
That's a good one. Cousin Les said, I want them to hustle hard for their dreams. And Aunt Chichi says, I agree with Let. Absolutely.
Letty.
Letty, absolutely. My G says, I've got excellent credit.
Indeed.
Camille says, I don't want my daughter having to ask a man for anything in order to make ends meet as she is figuring out the direction she wants to go. So question, Camille, being that you're saying that, you don't think that the path for your daughter is to go to college and be able to have for herself, the way you said your son? Because if he goes to school, you know what I'm saying? People usually go to school to get the job.
Right.
But
all right, let's read this part and
then she also says, for my son, of the reasons is I want him to be equipped and possess the skills to provide for himself and his own family one day. He can't do that living in my house. That's a fact. He has to learn how to get it done.
So let's see. And then, hey, Miss Michelle. He set a standard and they followed. So Camille is saying, okay, she doesn't want her daughter to have to ask a man for anything in order to make ends meet as she is figuring out the direction she wants to go. So
I don't think, okay. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm laughing at mommy. So Camille, sir, are you saying that, because I'm a little confused, are you saying that basically when the daughter leaves college, you don't feel like she would be independent enough to not need to ask for help? But your son, even if he's not, you want him to be able to figure it out so that he knows how to for his family. I just want to make sure I'm understanding it right.
Oh, that's Tay.
Hey, Tay. Dame.
Dame says, meaning I was paying bills as soon as I had working papers, but they put a fear in the outside world, meaning I had to depend on them. It was what called village manipulation. I never heard of that.
I never heard of that either. That's interesting.
But it's like you putting into the pot on this crib, but We don't want you to leave.
Right.
We don't want you to leave because well, in a way, that has its benefits. That has its benefits, but putting the fear into the outside world is not good.
What are the benefits, you think?
Of putting into the pot for the family, because if some people can coincide like in the house, right? Let's say, I'm not even going to say that, but people can conquer if they can stay together and build. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't feel like you should have your child be
No,
the one to help you build. And I
I
feel
don't
like
believe so either. But
when you take from them, it's preventing them from going out to build their own thing.
right, but some people look at it as like this: I have a son to continue to build on top of my legacy.
Yeah.
Some people look at it like that. Not go on and do what you want to do.
Oh, well, I mean,
And just, you know what I'm saying?
But what's your legacy? Me helping you pay the bills?
Nah, building up what the family is, building up the family standards. Like, let's put it like this, not the family standards. There are some people that come here, right? Mm-hmm. Put 15 people in a home, right? All grown-ups. They all gonna get a job, but they make sure that they're gonna pay off that home, own it, and then go to some, move out to go to the next one. So
right,
they can
but
own
they
both.
have a plan.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's might be the plan coming from the dad, from the top of the food chain. You get what I'm saying? But they putting fear down to everybody else.
That's not a good plan.
It's manipulation. It's manipulation to carry out that plan.
Yeah, which I don't
because then let's say somebody with a mortgage, like some people with mortgages, right? Look at their child as a roommate. Like, hey, now you could pay rent. Now you could pay a piece of rent and then make their mortgage cheaper.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting mindset.
Yeah,
I wouldn't look
you
at
don't
my
think people
child
do
as
that?
no roommate.
Now
I mean, people
that's
do
what
it, but I wouldn't look at my child as a roommate to pay
not
down
well,
my
not
mortgage.
A roommate, but I'm just saying, like, oh, now you a grown up, you could get a job. Now you got money.
I think that really actually, yeah. I mean, I know people do it. I'm not disagreeing that people do it. I just think it kind of actually shortchanges your child, depending on how much rent you're having them pay.
Right.
Because I feel like your goal should want your child to be independent, and still, it's not like they're taking from the family because they build something for themselves. They are that's building the legacy. They have your last name. And I just think you're taking from them when you're, especially if your notion is you're going to help me pay down the house mortgage, unless you're going to leave the house to them or something. I don't know.
I mean, that might be the case. Is everything in here, passes down to the family once we're done. You get what I'm saying?
Possibly. Mommy says not everyone is college material. Okay.
This is true, but I believe that everybody is higher education material.
Yes. Yeah, you don't have to go to college, but there are courses, there are trade schools, there are different things where you can fine tune whatever passion or skill that you do have.
Right.
But I do think you should take advantage, that people should take advantage.
Yeah, nobody should go anywhere and just be complacent at all. Cousin Les says, I disagree. They both need to learn the same. If the daughter learned those son lessons, she won't be down. She won't downswing on no man. She won't be downswing on no man. Downswung, maybe? I don't even.
Depending, probably.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Oh,
depending.
She said, yeah.
Oh, depending on no man. Right. And that's what I think. If she went to school and, learned some of the same lessons, I don't necessarily think she would be necessarily dependent on anyone. And thanks, Tay. I appreciate that. Cousin Let also says, a son could also fall into becoming independent in someone.
No.
Becoming dependent in someone. That's true. They can. Even with trying to push them out there. Camille says, I'm saying after my daughter earns her degree, she is more than welcome to come home until she's able to find a job in her career of choice. Everyone doesn't find a job right away after college.
Okay. So I get that. And I get that for both children. But you're saying for your son, you'd want him to kind of try to figure it out. So
he's not allowed.
He knows how to figure it out for his family.
Right. I get he's not allowed to come home after college.
Right. I think that's what she's saying.
Okay. Dame says they make you fear the life beyond their four walls. Push that child to be the best human that they can be is what I say. If they fall, at least they're falling forward.
Okay.
Cousin Les says, but your son can't. My mother-in-law had the same mentality and harmed her relationship with my husband. All children want to feel loved and cared for equally, but hey, that's just my 25 cents. No one asked for. Uh, I do agree. My son's welcome to come back home after college.
Yeah. And I kind of understand what Camille's saying
Yeah.
is like she wants her son to be the type of man who's going to provide and, you know, take care of his family.
Right.
And, you know, she's trying to build that type of character within him, which I get. But I still think you can do that with the, you know, with still supporting him.
Yeah.
And in the way where he could come home after, you know, just until he finds a good job. Because I mean, hopefully both of them find a great job coming out of school. But if not, it's like I don't want him to, because that, so a lot of people, when they don't find a job after school, especially in their career field, they end up working jobs like enterprise. Like I don't want, you know, because people work at enterprise and still do great. So I'm not trying to downplay the job, but there's certain jobs that look for students who just graduated undergrad. And so sometimes you can get stuck though. I had a friend who, when he graduated, he was working, I believe, at a car shop dealership, something. But the hours were so long and strenuous that it was hard for him to try to find something else within his field. So it's not saying that, you know, these are bad jobs that you can't make good money in, but they keep you so busy where sometimes you lose focus on actually following your career path and your passion.
Try to put you up with all these benefits and everything.
Right,
like that.
Exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, and you know what Camille's saying? I believe that people don't like saying this, right? But the truth is they want to raise an independent woman, but don't want them to be independent. You understand what I'm saying?
No, can you explain a little bit?
So they want to raise a daughter to say, yeah, she's strong, she's independent, da 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 da. But the truth is, they actually want their daughter to be taken care of by a man.
Well, Camille says she doesn't want that.
But when that daughter, I would assume that Camille's saying that daughter's going to move out once a man say, hey, I'm gonna pay all these bills, I'm gonna get this house, we're gonna get married and everything, and now I'm gonna be taking care of you.
Oh, well, you can correct him if he's wrong, Camille. Because what she said,
so when does she move out?
Want to, when she has a career, because she said she doesn't want her to have to ask a man for anything.
Yeah, so you don't give her these lessons?
What lessons?
To get it together, like you don't push her to learn how to do it, because what?
What she said was, I'm just quoting what she said, so I don't want to put words in people's mouth. But she said she would let her come home until she found the job in her career. Right. Once you found the job in her career, she could work, save the money so that she has her own and wouldn't have to depend on anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But at this point, right, she was dependent of you.
Right, which is okay as long as it's not a man, according to Camille, I think.
Okay.
I think. Correct us if we're wrong. And Camille said, I will always support my son in all areas of his life. I'm not cutting off all ties. Laugh out loud.
And she said, I guess not necessarily marriage, because that would be dependent on him, I guess.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I think in marriage, you're like interdependent. Like you depend on each other, I believe, for different things. So even if a woman is fully dependent on a man financially, he may be dependent on her to take care of the like the home stuff or, you know, different facets of their life. He may be dependent on her for that. So I think with marriage, it's like you're going to be interdependent. And I do think that both men and women should have the skill set to be able to be independent, fully independent, because God forbid, you don't know what could happen. There's people, you know, there's widows, obviously, because people pass away or think, you know, just life happens. So I do think you should be able to be self-sufficient and, you know, provide and take care of yourself. God forbid you are by yourself.
True.
But the blessing of marriage is you get to be interdependent on each other.
True. My G says, I'm glad that you're taking care of my baby corn boy. Love you both. Love you too. And she's taking care of me too. Preach, Dolly. Camille says with or without a man. And yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I'm kind of like, you know, because I would let my son come home too.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. It's just, but it's like, but then again, that just shows like the different perspective on parenting, how we raise children, and how we see fit to build a certain type of character in our child, man or woman, that we want.
Yeah. You know? And now, yeah. And you know, thinking about this, if I say it, I might be being sexist, but you know, I kind of agree, and not necessarily about certain things, but my son got to leave. Even if he come home for college, my son got to leave before my daughter. My son got to leave before my daughter.
What if your daughter has it more together and...
That's fine. She could still stay at the house.
No. Well, oh.
She could still stay at...
really double standard,
eh? She could still stay at the house because I would prefer my daughter staying with me than living alone.
Because of safety?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, live your life, do what you want to do, but I know that you protected here. You know, if any, you know, I'm always looking out for you to come home. If, you know, to be expecting for you to come home or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like when you get married and that man's there, that's what he's supposed to be doing. He expect you to come home. If things going wrong, you know, he take that responsibility to figure out what's going on. Mm-hmm. That would be what I'll be doing. Mm-hmm. Now, if she's going home, I don't know that she don't make, you know, I don't really know if she don't make it home.
We'll have trackers. No, I'm kidding.
At 24?
24, baby. Like, yeah, we all know who we are. Yeah, okay, you made it. Like,
some people do that now, though.
Some people do.
Some people do that. They share their location.
Crazy worlds.
Yeah. So I guess that's why people do it.
Yeah.
Camille says, I was raised to be an independent woman, and that I am. I just don't want my daughter to worry about having a roof over her head as she's getting her footage in life. Yeah. And I mean, come on, Camille. Can't be like that to your son. My G says, Kwani, you're a mess. I see you are a protective father, and we love that about you.
Indeed. Very protective.
Tate says, location on.
Yes. Listen. We tracking each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
And I get that from Irvin, I think. You know.
Yes.
I get that from Irvin. But yeah,
no, they're just very protective.
Yeah.
Like Mama J.
I mean, but once if I meet the guy and he cool and I trust that, you know, he got my daughter and, you know, I trust that she's in good hands. Mm-hmm. That guard goes down.
Yeah. And I just think it's just the way that naturally sometimes people look at men versus women. They look at women as being a little bit more delicate, more precious, something that, you know, is to be treasured and protected. And they look at men as being more of the protector, right, and the person, you know, more, you know, aggressive or hard or whatever. So I do think there's obviously yin and yang, a balance to everything, because you don't want your son just to be emotionless, cold, and hard, like Cousin Let was saying earlier. You don't want him to feel like he's not loved and valued in the same way. Yeah. So I think it's a big balance, and a big thing is communication and just talking to your children about your expectations, about their expectations for themselves, what their goals are. So I guess there's really no right way or no right age to leave the house. But do you guys think 40 is too old?
40 is too old.
40 is too old.
And yeah, there's no right age. This is kind of like other conversations we have. It's really based on the traits the things that you equip that child with. If you know that they are independent and they can be independent, then it might start being that time where it's time to go. Or and then it might be other things where you might not even believe in that.
Believe in what?
Your child got to leave the home.
Oh, right. You may just think they can stay however long they want.
Right.
Miss Michelle says, "Oh, it's a good one."
What if she is offered a great position with the company in another state? Would you keep her from taking the job?
You.
Me?
Yeah, because you said you would let her stay there because you don't really like her living on her own. And
so in this, yeah. So in this world today, if that's what she want to do, take it. Mm-hmm. Take it. But your location need to be on.
All time. And we coming to visit. Mom and Dad, we on the way, baby.
Yeah.
We'll probably have a little condo in the state.
Yep. And me and my daughter need to have full open communication. I need to know if you having guys at your crib, and I don't care. You know, I know you're gonna be an adult and you may be doing some things, but I need to know. You know.
And I think a big thing is it's like you just, I mean, especially I feel like as a parent, I know we haven't experienced everything yet. We're still in stage 1. But I think as a parent, it's like
stage 2. It's a few steps.
Okay, we're in stage 2. Yeah, stage 10. But I think as a parent, it's just like you just want your child protected.
Right.
And I don't think that it means like you won't be checking in on your son as well and making sure like you know where he is and that he's good, because it's different threats for, you know, each child.
Right.
Your son versus your daughter. Granted, they have some similar threats, but it's a lot of different threats. So like for a young Black man, for example, you may be more worried about the police or, you know, something else happening to him. Your daughter, you're worrying about a man taking advantage of her or something like that. So I don't think it's just saying you're going to have your child on lockdown. They can't do anything. Right. But you know, you just want them to be protected and you want to give them that trust. So obviously you don't want to be overbearing. So we'll work on you. No, kidding. Because it'll probably be me too. Like, hey, what you doing?
You thought about the tractors first. I didn't even think about that. You've been bringing that up lately. And then we seen it the other day. Actually, that's becoming a thing. They sell them at T-Mobile now.
No need to just throw me under the bus.
Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah, I think both children deserve some type of protection and things like that.
Definitely.
Shoot. And any of my children leave the state or whatever the case may be, you got 3-4 days for me to call you and not pick up before I'm at your house.
Yeah, seriously.
And I mean, hey, this might be overbearing.
What?
But if you leave the state, I need the key.
To their place?
Yeah.
No, I think that's fair. Honestly, I think it's fair. And it's not that you don't trust the child, but it's just like, God forbid, what if they don't answer the phone in a few days and you go out there and then it's like you don't have access to their place, and what if they're in there sick or something happens? You know,
married and see the thing. See, I want to say married or not, but when you married, it's kind of like now this is your own. But some people crazy. And if my phone don't, you know, if I don't answer my phone for a few days.
Yeah, I mean, hold on. Yeah, if he didn't answer his phone for a few days, first of all, we live together and we're married.
I'm in the mountains somewhere.
Nah, buddy. No. You gotta go to the top of the phone pole and get some reception.
No, I'm saying, it's because you crazy. You got me. So my parents still need the key because you ain't going to open the door.
Anyways. And Camille said exactly, Sha. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yes.
This was a wonderful conversation.
Before we get off, you guys that are still here, if you are on YouTube or Facebook, please give us a thumbs up and a like.
Yes.
Because this was a great conversation tonight.
It really was. I really enjoyed everyone's input.
Yes.
And it, like how we said, like what our goals are is just to gain a greater perspective so that we can all gain a greater understanding.
Right.
But it's nice to see the different dynamics and how families operate. And I don't really think there is, I mean, obviously we can agree on some of the wrongs, like in that post I read, 2 weeks was kind of unreasonable, but it's just nice to see how everyone operates or thinks differently about a situation, because it's certain things that you can either implement or be like, well, no, I don't agree with it, but I can understand. So it's like we can have this dialogue and not necessarily agree with everything everyone's saying, but we can understand and be respectful and have the conversation, which I
Right.
think is so needed, especially, you know, in our community. So thank you guys. We appreciate you mucho.
Yes, yes.
If you have any other topics you want us to go over, please make sure you write it. No key, Mama Shay.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it as I was saying it too.
Yeah, set yourself up, especially
But,
with grandbaby on the way. Oh no, this lady will be showing up. Oh no, unannounced.
But yeah, I mean, and like I said, the key really only get used if I don't answer my phone.
Nope. See, you setting yourself up.
Like I said, if I don't answer my phone.
Nope, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, so we appreciate you guys. Love you all.
Yes,
and
love you all.
We will see you next week.
Deuces, people.
Peace.
Don't freeze.